Welcome back to Booze and the Rocks, everybody. My name is David Edwards. Today, we're gonna make a Negroni variation. Yes, that's right, a clarified Negroni. But does it taste better than the original Negroni? Let's find out. It's great to have every single one of you back today. It is Negroni week. And like everybody else, I'm not gonna make you a Negroni, but I'm gonna make you an interesting variation of that. And I'm gonna do that for a couple of reasons. The first time I ever had a Negroni, it was terrible. I didn't like it. You can see my reaction on the video here. And you know what? I figured I would go with a clarified version because I clarified a jungle bird and it was really good. The Campari was rounded, the sweetness was heightened a little bit, and it was much more a rounder, better cocktail, in my opinion, of course. Now, you may prefer the original, that's your choice too. So, I'm going to do this as a basic Negroni. I'm not going to make any special changes to it. Although, if you want to see a really interesting version of this, go check out Truffles on the Rocks. He did a clarified version where he made a homemade, interesting bittering unit. And I'll put a link down below because Jean-Philippe did a really good job with that. So, the first thing we'll need, of course, is your stirring glass or mixing glass. Grab your gin of choice. I'm using Spirit of York gin. It's much closer to a London dry gin style, and it's got a cork on it that's nigh impossible to get out. They've done something amazing with that. So the original ratios being 1 to 1 to 1, of course, were 1 ounce each, or 30 mils. I'm going to make this 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters. The next thing you're going to need is your Sweet Vermouth of choice. Now I'm using Dillon's Vermouth. I really like this. Both of these are local liqueurs and gins to where I live, which is awesome because I prefer local ingredients where possible. And this is sweet and gives you a very much berry taste. And again, you're going to use 1 hour, 1.5 ounces or 45 milliliters. The next thing you want, of course, is Campari. Now, Campari is a red aperitivo. I don't know if I have enough here. Let's see if I can get through this. Oh no, man down, man down. Oh well. However, for a guy who doesn't like very much Campari, I have another bottle right here just for you. Mostly because I'm starting to enjoy it. So. All right, look at that. So the basics are here just for the ingredients. We will, however, be adding some milk to it. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some ice, and we're going to stir this for about 30 seconds. Perhaps a tad too much ice. And what we want to do is we want to get this down to the right dilution level, so about 30 seconds. All right, so that's pretty good. Grab a small straw of some type, and you just want to give it maybe a bit of a sip test. Yep, that's a Negroni. Oh. But we're not done. We're partway there. Next, grab a glass of your choice. I'm just using this so you can actually see what I'm doing. And for the milk that we're going to use dairy, and I'm using a 2% milk. I suggest you use a 3% milk. And what's happening is we want the lactose and the cream to separate from the casing, and that's what will actually create our filtering agent. But your ratio is about 4 to 1. So what we'll add is we'll add 1 ounce of dairy and we'll pour it into this secondary glass. The reason I'm doing that is because you want to add your alcohol directly to the milk. You don't want to do it the other way. What you want to do is you want to lower the pH gradually. So you're going to pour it in slowly, and this will begin the separation process. And now it doesn't look very tasty at all. In fact, it looks like a nasty version of Pepto-Bismol going bad. So I'll just put this over here off to the side for you. Take your spoon, give it a little bit of a stir just to break this down. Okay. We'll give you a nice close-up of what this looks like right now. So, take this off to the side. Grab yourself a tall glass, a funnel, and take a coffee filter. If you have one that's already funnel shaped, perfect. If not, use one of these. You'll fold it in half. Fold it in half again, so you get this kind of a shape. And then what you want to do is you want to just separate this out and open this up so that you have one section available. Hold your paper in place, and you're going to slowly pour this in. What you will begin to see is that it will start to drip. And it will be dripping fast at first because what's happening is the fluid's just going through. The milk solids yet haven't had a chance to clog up the filter, which is what you want, because the milk and the filter paper are going to be what helps us separate and clarify this cocktail. So once it starts to slow down a little bit, like it is right now, take this, pour this back in here like so, and put this back. All while you do that, you want to make sure that you don't dislodge the milk curds from the inside of the sheath, because that's kind of built like this for you. So as you look at this, it's beginning its start. And we're going to have to wait for a while. And this is how it turns out. This may take you half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour, depending on how much curds you have in here and how much fluid you're trying to work with. I went for a slightly larger amount just because I want more to drink. So it's quite the difference in color. So I'll put this over here because I don't need this now. I'm going to grab my rocks glass. And we need a nice big chunk of ice. Let's grab this. It still doesn't want to drop down there very nice, but you know what? That's okay, because we're going to slowly pour this in over the ice. Look at that. Beautiful. Now we're going to garnish this. So I'm going to use an orange, and a lot of people will just put an orange peel inside with their Negroni. However, I'm going to do a bit of a peel, like so. I'm going to give it a bit of a spritz right there. Wipe this around, because this will give us some of those orange smells. However, let's do this. We're going to give ourselves a nice orange slice. Put that there, put this here. We're going to chop this in half like so. And we're going to put this right here. How is that? You just can't go wrong with a cocktail that looks like that, can you? Hit the thumbs up button right now. Let's give it a smell. So the first thing I'll get is a little bit of orange. That's really awesome. The orange actually overpowers everything, and I've used my orange to spill my drink. I'm thoroughly upset. That's alcohol abuse. So it smells good. You don't smell anything strong. You don't smell the Campari coming off of it or the vermouth. That's a good Negroni. I can drink this. You know what? The Campari is rounded down. The gin and the vermouth blend really, really well together with it. That bitterness comes in a little bit towards the end. You know what? Oh, this is a dangerous drink. Slightly bitter. You could drink a whole bunch of these. Oh yeah. This is a Negroni variation that I can get behind. You know what? I'm going to put the ingredients and the directions of how to make this down in the description down below. If this is your first time to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell notification. And if you're interested in subscribing to the channel, which is awesome, I do have a Patreon page if you want to help support the page at all. And I'll put a link to that down in the description down below. You know what? Great cocktail. It's an interesting week of interesting Negroni variations. We'll see you next time. It is Negroni week, so today we're gonna make a Negroni. However, I'm not making a straight Negroni. And the reason I can't even say Negroni right. And then he made his with Emperor's Trin.